were starting a little late. The crash on 20 and was causing delays. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. That today I have perfected your religion for you, and I have completed my blessings upon you. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and I have chosen Islam as a deen for you. Respected brothers and sisters, once a Jew came to Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, and he said that you have an ayah in the Quran, and if we had this ayah in Torah, we would celebrate the day of its revelation. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu asked, which ayah are you talking about? So this person said, I'm talking about this ayah, al-Yawma akmaltu lakum ila akhirih. So Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu responded that, what do you think? We don't know when this ayah was revealed? I know the day when it was revealed, the place when it was revealed. It was revealed on the day of Arafah, the 9th of the Hijjah, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was performing his Hajj. It was Friday. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already has chosen a special day, a blessed day for the revelation of this ayah. We don't have to celebrate, we don't have to designate another day for its celebration. We already celebrate the revelation of this ayah because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the day of Arafah, which is the 9th of the Hijjah, a special day for the whole Muslim Ummah. Friday, which is our weekly Eid. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was there himself in Hajj when this ayah was revealed upon Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So the deen is complete. There will be no change. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in many places in the Quran that there is no declaration, there is no change in the declaration of Allah. لا تبديل لكلمات الله. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, He has said, no change, no. It's not like word we call that the legislation assembly, they think, oh, looks like this law is not working properly, so we need to make some amendments, or we just need to cancel it. It's not like that. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it will stay there forever. Now the question is that we have a concept of nasr and abrogation in the Sharia. There are many ayat that were abrogated, many ahkam that were abrogated. In the beginning of Islam, people were allowed to drink, and after that, gradually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade drinking wine. So in the beginning, it was permissible, that after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited drinking while offering salah, and then eventually, drinking wine became completely prohibited. What was that? It was an abrogation. So wasn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hukm changing? This is an example of Allah's ahkam being amended or changed. So how do we reconcile between the two ayah? In one place Allah is saying there is no change in the ahkam of Allah or declaration made by Allah, and in another place we see that abrogation happened. And not only within the Sharia, our Sharia abrogated the Sharia of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and that abrogated the Sharia of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So the Sharia of every following or subsequent Nabi and Prophet messenger abrogated the Sharia of the previous Prophet. All these Sharia laws came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so abrogation is that common. So how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, لا تبديل لكلمات الله? And if this deen is complete, then how come nasr was possible? How come nasr was allowed? So how do we reconcile between these two ayahs? The example to understand this is that imagine if you go to see a doctor. Doctor examines your body and he diagnoses some issues and illness. He knows that the path to cure is this. He has in his mind that I will prescribe this particular medication, and after a few weeks I will prescribe another medication. Maybe the doses will increase or decrease. So he has in his mind that this is the path to cure. Now after a few weeks, when you go and visit the doctor changes the prescription, he changes the medication, and you say, are you crazy? Don't you know what medications I was taking? I want to take the same medication. How can you change those medications? Well, we don't say that. We don't have that right because we don't know anything about the medical science. We follow blindly our doctors, our physicians. So if the physician is now saying that we should change medication, according to his knowledge, that should be right and that should be okay, and it is always accepted because he knows the path to cure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-alim. He is all-knowing. He is al-hakim. He is all-wise. So he understands and he knows when we are capable of accepting certain ruling. So when we as a civilization, when we mentally and when we basically intellectually evolve, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes the ruling. So the ruling is already in the ilm of Allah that it will expire on a certain date and a certain day. According to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that nasb or abrogation happens, it is not the change in the knowledge of Allah, it's the change according to our knowledge, but in the knowledge of Allah, it's a preset plan. So there is no contradiction between Allah's qawl, la tabdila li kalimatillah, and between the concept of abrogation in the Quran. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this Quran is perfect, Quran is complete. Our deen and sharia is complete and has full perfection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged. He says that you will never find a single disagreement or contradiction within the Quran. If you pick one ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah, from the first juz, and an ayah from the 30th juz, and you compare between the two, you will never find a single contradiction. Pick any ayah in the Quran, not a single contradiction or clash between those two ayahs of the Quran. And this is a challenge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the entire humanity. For the last 1400 years since the revelation of the Quran, people who oppose the Quran, who raise objections against the Quran, who do not want to believe in the Quran, who have the problem of Islamophobia, they try to look for contradictions in the Quran, but they have failed. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that الْيَوْمَ أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. But one thing we have to keep in mind, respected brothers and sisters, that there is no change in the Quran, there is no change in the aqa'id, in what we believe, but there can be changes in ahkam and rulings in sharia. Let me give you an example from the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Once, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wa sallam sent a few companions to the tribe called Banu Qurayza, and he commanded them to reach the area of Banu Qurayza and pray Salat al-Asr there. So these people were going to Banu Qurayza, and the time of Salat al-Asr started on their way. There was a disagreement among the companions. Some of them said, well, that the Rasulullah wanted us to pray Salat al-Asr only once we get to Banu Qurayza. So today's Salat al-Asr time starts once we get there. The other group of companions said that no, his intention and purpose was that we get there quickly. Now that we were not able to get there on time and Salat al-Asr time is starting, we have to pray right now. We will not wait until we get to Banu Qurayza. So the disagreement took place between the two groups of companions. This group, these few people were traveling to Banu Qurayza. So some people prayed on the way to Banu Qurayza, and some people waited until they got there, and that's when they offered Salat al-Asr. Both of these two groups came back to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and they narrated their experience. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not say that, how come you disagree? And disagreement is bad, disagreement is wrong, how dare you did this? How come you did your ijtihad? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not say any of those things. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wa sallam acknowledged disagreement. Though he favored the group that offered Salatul Asr right at time and didn't wait until they got to Banu Qurayza, because that was the purpose of his qawl, that was the purpose of his command. So he favored that group, but he did not refuse this disagreement. This proves that the disagreement in rulings started from the time of Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Today we see a lot of disagreement in the Ummah. We see different schools of and the Malikis and the Shafi'is and the Hanbalis. So this disagreement is in the Ummah, but this is not a division. There is a big difference between disagreement and division. Disagreement with respect and dignity is always a good thing, but division is a bad thing. So when we have different sects, for example, you have Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah and you have non-Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. For instance, in the past we had the Mu'tazilas and the Khawarij, and today we have Sunnis and the Shias and so many different sects. This is called division. Division is bad, but the difference of opinion is always acknowledged, it's always good, appreciated by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So people say, and they panic when they hear difference of opinion, and they say, why we are today divided, why we have different schools of thought, this person follows Hanafi school, and that person follows Maliki, and that person follows Shafi'i. There's nothing bad about it. It's a natural process. It's evolution in our thought process. If we believe in evolution in our thought process, then this ikhtilaf and difference of opinion has to happen. And it happened from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so it continued after the time of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wa taslim. But there was no disagreement in aqa'id, in Islamic tenets, there was no disagreement in the time of Sahaba radiallahu anhum. There is a hadith, Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates. He says that once we were talking about taqdeer in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we were disagreeing with each other because one of us was saying that this is the meaning of taqdeer and the other was giving his own interpretation and opinion. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam heard our conversation. He came out and he was very angry, and he expressed his anger and he said, how dare you were talking about the mas'ala, the issue of taqdeer. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't like when his own companions disagreed among each other on the issue of aqidah. Taqdeer is related to aqidah. Taqdeer is not related to our practice. Taqdeer is not related to our ahkam. It's not something that we have to follow. It is something we have to believe. So taqdeer is related to aqidah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam rejected the disagreement in it. When he heard the ikhtilaf about offering salah, which is amal, which is a practice, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam appreciated that ikhtilaf. It means the ikhtilaf that took place among Sahaba radiallahu anhu related to Salat al-Asr. What was it? It was opinion. The difference of opinion is absolutely fine, but the Sunnah wal Jama'ah. There is a person who is promoting the aqaid of Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So definitely he is rejecting the aqaid of Shia, or the aqaid of Khawarij, or the aqaid of others. So isn't he causing and promoting sectarianism? Isn't he causing division in the ummah? How do we reconcile between the two? If promoting division is bad, then defending our Sunnah wal Jama'ah, is it accepted or is it also rejected? This is another important issue. And I know it is impossible for me to do justice to the topic within the next few minutes, but let me tell you one thing. We have to follow the Sunnah of Sahaba radiallahu anhu, because they are the direct students of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our understanding of deen can never be better than their understanding of deen. They were in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for many, many years. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was in Medina Munawwara after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Some people came from Kufa, from Iraq, and they sat down next to Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, and they said, oh, Ibn Umar, we have some people back home in Iraq, and they reject qadr, they reject taqdeer. They say that there is no such thing as predestination. So what do you say about it? Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said that when you go back, tell them that we have no association with them and they have no association with us. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in the hadith that Iman is that a person believes in Allah. Iman is that a person believes in Rasulullah and his Anbiya and the book. And one of those items that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned that are part of Iman is believing in predestination. So Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu clearly rejected the idea of disbelieving or not believing in predestination. This is the sunnah of Sahaba radiallahu anhu, that when a Sahabi has seen anything that was contradictory to the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, he spoke up against it, he rejected it. He himself never caused sectarianism or division. He didn't adopt any opinion that was against the opinion of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah in his time. And that should be our attitude, that should be our behavior. That's how we should react. That we ourselves would not adopt any opinion which is against the opinion of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. But when we see a person promoting something that is contradictory to Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we will not remain silent. We have to speak up. Why? Because it is our responsibility as Muslim Ummah. It is our responsibility as scholars. It is our responsibility as people of knowledge that we defend Islam, we defend Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and we become the means to preserve the iman of that generation. And it can be done only when we speak up against those people who promote sectarianism by adopting opinions against the Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. In this short time, this is what we can cover. As long as we understand these principles, we are good. Indeed, if we are interested in details, obviously, this is not the right occasion, inshallah, some other time. But the point is that Ahl-Sunnah, the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah should be preserved and cannot be compromised by anyone. It doesn't matter who he is, and it doesn't matter how big his name is, and what is his popularity on social media and whatnot. As long as you see that this belief is contradictory to the belief of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, reject that person and reject what he's saying. Jazakumullah khairan jazak. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. There are a couple of announcements. So, first of all, request dua for Brother Muhammad Aslam. He is struggling and because of Delta variant and he's on ventilator. May dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him shifa. Dua request for Asra Zahiruddin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all Inshallah, admissions are open at this Institute of Islamic Education until 14th of August. Hifz in Hifz department as well as Alim program and Ifta program. So if you have kids and this is the time when we send our kids to the school, consider this program. It offers Hifz and at the same time schooling program. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve the iman of our children. جزاكم الله خير الجزاء واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.